This is a presentation of the property offered at 630 Sierra Circle in Alpine, Utah. This property is truly a one-of-a-kind dream building lot. It's a unique opportunity to own the last buildable lot in prestigious Alpine that provides an unobstructed and unobstructable 360-degree view of the entire Utah Valley. And Alpine is that the choicest place to live in Utah Valley, home of Dale Murphy and other notables. The best building site on the property offers the only first floor level access to the high plateau of the adjacent 16-acre South Point Park. As such, it will be the only property that will ever have at its back door its own almost private 16-acre park. When this lot sells, the opportunity to live on a property that has this unique combination of sustainable design integration, location, and views will be gone forever. This is an artist's rendering of the architectural drawings that have been designed and detailed to build this custom home for this specific site. And the home has been designed like none other. It's an integration of building architecture, landscape architecture, the environmental sciences, healthy, green, passive solar technologies that make this home function in a sustainable way like none other. I will now describe the three different levels of the home, starting with the basement. The basement consists of a 3-car garage, a workshop, a recreation room, and theater and storage space. There's also a separate rentable apartment consisting of a bedroom, study, kitchenette, eating area, family room with its own fireplace. The first and second levels of the home total slightly over 3,800 square feet of heated living space. One enters from the portico through the hand-carved entrance door, the side lights and transom of which have been sandblast etched to depict aspen trees. When one enters the foyer, the heavy beam arches seen in the portico continue to frame the space. On the right side is a 3-foot high by 8-foot long eye-level fish tank, and the flowing water, the oscillating aquatic vegetation, and the fish give life and animation to that space. That's doubled because of a 3 by 8 foot mirror on the opposite wall. One can look through the fish tank and see into the 2-story family room to the right and the crackling fireplace in the corner. 3/4 of the way down the foyer, one is greeted in the floor by a 4-foot diameter sandblast etched crystal with LED lights around the perimeter. Directly overhead is a 3-foot geosphere, which is a globe of the Earth, illuminated from the inside. Antarctica sheds therefore a bright light down at this space. At the far end of the foyer is a mirror on the door to the elevator. The elevator accesses all 3 levels of the home. From this nodal point, you turn right and enter through a heavy arched beam into the 2-story family room, and to the left you look across the kitchen and dining room, which is open landscape all the way to the window wall between the dining room and the greenhouse at the far end, and view hydroponic plants blooming along that window wall. On the other side of the home from the dining room and kitchen is a 2-story sunroom / music room, and behind the the two-story family room is the master bedroom suite and master bath. Also to the left of that there's the half bath, guest bathroom, and laundry room. From the family room you can exit north through French doors to the deck here that views north and east to the mountains, and the deck is shaded mostly by the two-story architecture from the hot Utah sun in the summer. On the east end of the family room is a large picture window and a window seat tucked in a nook there. The master bedroom and master bath has a gas fireplace and as a common wall between both spaces, so you can sit in and enjoy the garden tub with a gas fireplace next to you, and also be in the master bedroom and enjoy that fireplace. There's also a common wall fireplace between the kitchen and the dining room, which can be enjoyed from both sides. In the dining room there's a smaller fish tank between the dining room and the greenhouse, the opposite wall of which is mirrored and sandblast etched with snowflakes, so that when in the dining room you can experience blooming flowers from the greenhouse, the fish swimming, and the activity of the water and oscillating plants in the fish tank reflected in the mirror on the other side of the dining room, and see fish swimming as it were through fire and ice when the gas fireplace is active. Exiting east through the French doors from the dining room leads you to a hexagonal patio which provides views north, east, and south to the mountains. Back to the master bathroom suite, it also has a sauna, and when you're sitting in the sauna you can see the flickering flames from the gas fireplace, and when you're in the garden tub you can see the flames from the fireplace, and also because of strategically placed mirrors you will see the reflection of the Lone Peak Wilderness, a beautiful mountain range to the north, reflected in the mirrors when you're relaxing in the garden tub. In the sunroom / music room there's a water wall, so there's gently trickling water down one face of the wall that adds humidity to this high desert atmosphere. A large planter in the sunroom has a tropical tree growing in it, and a mirrored wall on the other side doubles the effect of the water and the tree. The site landscape concept is on this sloping site to landscape it with a wildflower meadows, and from the east patio the stream emanates and flows down through the meadow and finally tumbles over a 4-foot waterfall down into the trout pond seen in the lower left. The site is planted with groves of aspen, fir, and spruce trees, edible berry bushes, and on the south side of the greenhouse an organic edible vegetable garden. This is the artist rendering from the southwest side of the home. On the lower level to the left you'll see windows to from the master bedroom and also the laundry room. Underneath the deck are the French doors that lead from the music room and sunroom out to a patio on the east. On the west. On the upper level are windows to the bedrooms, and on the south side upper level that great big window wall is where the design studio and the library are, and that window wall allows the light to penetrate deep within the building, so that most spaces in the home require very little auxiliary light during the daytime at least. The overhangs are designed to allow the warming winter sun in, but to cut off the hot summer sun. when we don't want it to heat the home. On the south side, the greenhouse/solar furnace has multiple functions. First of all, it is a solar furnace. It captures the radiant energy from the sun, and the sun energizes the convection current that circulates throughout the home, and in the process of it wafts the aroma of the sweet aroma of flowers blooming in the greenhouse throughout the home. It's the primary heating source of the home, and the radiant energy from the sun is stored in thermal mass in the home. Another auxiliary source of heat, of course, are the fireplaces, the 4 fireplaces, one in the family room, in the basement apartment, in the master bedroom, and in the kitchen dining room area. The zone of plant materials along the south window wall of the greenhouse are specially selected tropical plants that have the highest capability of oxygenating air. That, combined with the engineered soil matrix in the greenhouse, both oxygenates air and filters and sequesters toxins, so that we use nature's technologies in providing a healthier indoor environment. The center section of the greenhouse is reserved for growing crops, and the third section is a water wall adjacent to the slider windows between the dining room and the greenhouse, the sunroom and the greenhouse. The water wall has a couple of functions. One is to store thermal energy to mitigate the nighttime, daytime fluctuation of temperature in the greenhouse, but also provides the opportunity to grow hydroponic plants. One section of inside the greenhouse is also a thermal wall, which has the capability of capturing the sun's energy and providing a closed convection loop down into the basement apartment, so it warms the basement with the sun. Some of the unique green features we've designed into this site is all of the rainwater is harvested and reused to irrigate in the greenhouse. The gray water is rerouted to a cistern outdoors for irrigation of the landscape. So there's and the driveway and other hardscape surfaces are built with ICPs, so the water recharges the groundwater supply. So there's very little, if any, runoff from the site, making the best use of the little water nature gives us in this high desert environment. On the second level from the library is a door that leads to the sunset deck, which provides views west to the Oquirrh Mountains into some incredible sunsets. I will show you images of a couple of those later on in the presentation. The paths that you see here lead to the South Point Park, just a few feet away, so that your backyard is really the South Point Park. The site feels much larger because the park is essentially yours. The only home that accesses it at this level is this home. This is a Google Earth image illustrating the relationship of Alpine to Salt Lake City and Point South. It's approximately 40 minutes from Salt Lake City and the international airport there, and about 30 minutes north of BYU Provo. This is a closer Google Earth image of Alpine and its relationship to the mountains surrounding it. As you can see, on 3 sides there are mountains, so Alpine really is tucked up into a cove, which means there's no through traffic, and the only traffic there are for people who live in Alpine. That makes it a very quiet and peaceful place to live. This illustrates the site in relation to South Point Park outlined in yellow. Notice that approximately 300 feet to the west is a developed portion of the South Point Park with basketball courts, volleyball courts, children's playground, and a pavilion. Most of the park, however, is in a natural state with meandering walking and mountain biking trails. And this site at Sierra Circle is the only lot that affords first floor level access to this plateau called South Point Park. This is a Google Earth image northeast showing the relationship of the property, the park, to the city of Alpine in the cove and the Lone Peak Wilderness in the distance. This is a Google Earth image east from the property showing its relationship to the Wasatch Mountains, and to the upper right the entrance to American Fork Canyon. This is a Google Earth image looking southeast showing the relationship of the site to the entrance of American Fork Canyon. A short 3-minute drive from the property leads you to the mouth of the canyon. The left side of which is wilderness, the right side of which is mountain terrain, and it accesses literally millions of acres of recreational opportunities, including 70 miles of snowmobile trails in the winter, almost endless miles of four-wheeling in the summer, mountain biking, hiking, jeeping, trout fishing, hunting, you name it, it's there. It's an amazing place. This is a photograph from the top of the site looking north toward the Lone Peak Wilderness. Note that at this elevation you're above all the other rooftops of the surrounding homes, so that it provides that unobstructed and unobstructable view of the entire valley. This is a view northeast, and the site's relationship to the cul-de-sac. The first floor level from which this photograph was taken is 33 feet above the cul-de-sac, so you're up above everyone else, affording these magnificent views. This is a view looking east and southeast, and then south toward the Mount Nebo Wilderness and Provo Peak. You see a little portion of Utah Lake coming into view. Southwest, where you can see most of Utah Lake and the Mount Nebo Wilderness in the distance, and a portion of the South Point Park in the foreground. This is a photograph looking directly west. In the distance, about 300 feet away, is the developed portion of South Point Park with its volleyball, basketball, child's playground, and pavilion. In the foreground is what most of the park consists of, which is this high plateau and meandering walking and mountain biking trails. In the distance are the Oquirrh Mountains. This is a view northwest, and these are some scenes of what happens to the Lone Peak Wilderness and the Wasatch Mountains when the sun sets behind the Oquirrhs. It bathes these mountains in this wonderful warm Alpine glow. This is a photograph southeast with the Alpine glow in the mountains. This is a view south toward Provo Peak and Mount Nebo in the evening with the setting sun over the Oquirrhs. These are a couple photographs of the amazing western sunsets that you can enjoy from the sunset deck or the western patio. Where this lady is standing is the top of the site, the building site where the first floor level will be constructed, and a view looking again north over the Lone Peak Wilderness. 15 minutes after you enter the mouth of American Fork Canyon brings you to Tibble Fork Reservoir, and these magnificent mountain views of the backside of Mount Timpanogos in this case, and another shot of Mount Timp with surrounding mountains. And you may recognize a portion of this was filmed in Jeremiah Johnson, but the recreational opportunities here are just endless, and they're 15 minutes from the site. Well, that was a very brief overview of the property, and particularly the custom design home to be built on that property. For a great deal more detailed description of each room, how they relate to other rooms, the interior design features, the thermodynamics of the home, please visit the website indicated there, or give me a call at the number indicated. If some of these images and information have piqued interest in you for our planning and design services, please visit our website, or feel free to call me. We would love to be of service to you. Thank you so much for listening and watching. We look forward to hearing from you.